Welcome back, everybody. Polls are closing very, very soon. Our coverage here on RAV is going to continue throughout the show and all the way until midnight, so make sure you stay right here for all of that. But joining us now to break down what we are likely to see tonight is head pollster over at Rasmussen Reports, Mark Mitchell. Mark, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, really great to be here. I don't think there's going to be any surprises, to be honest with you. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't think so. And, we hit a lot on Virginia and New Jersey with Robert Cahaley. So what the heck? Let's go up to New York. So President Trump, kind of a last-minute endorsement of Andrew Cuomo. He's a native New Yorker. He cares what happens in that city. We all should. It's the capital of our country as far as finances go. But too little too late.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Democrats want. This is what New York wants. It's what young people want. You look at the polling, and he's winning by like 50, 60 points with the younger age brackets. And it's sad to see the Republicans throw their values out the window to endorse Cuomo, because I think there's still a lot of questions about what happened with COVID that people should go after. And, really kind of sick if Donald Trump is what puts Cuomo over the finish line, but I don't think so. And in my opinion, it was kind of coincidental to see banks like Morgan Stanley and come out today and say, well, there might be turmoil in the stock market in the future, the very same day that a socialist about to take over the banking capital of the world. It's pretty dark. And unfortunately, this is the direction. And the polling on Zoomers tells us this. Everybody likes to say that they're more conservative than in any generation, and it's just not true. Even the ones that voted for Trump, people under 40 in my polling, 3/4 of them support nationalizing major industries. Almost 60% of them support excess wealth confiscation. So in my opinion, the young vote for Donald Trump was not an endorsement of Republican traditional conservative values. It was a vote to burn the system down because they think it's unfair. And unfortunately, if the Republicans can't play ball and offer them that, they're going to go into the arms of Democrat socialists, even if they are Trojan horses for Sharia law. That's just a fact.
It's a fascinating dynamic, and one that I'm not sure a lot of Republicans fully understand in their districts or even in the national poll. I want to ask what Republicans do if Mamdani becomes the socialist communist chief of the capitalist capital of the world. In some ways, it could be a political gift, an education moment right in the middle of our 250th birthday celebration. What's your best advice to Republicans on how to counter Mamdani and not get tricked into a dangerous argument?
Well, first, they need to understand that the future of the Republican Party can only survive and be relevant if it, A, understands the online culture and how people are consuming news, and B, that its entire being needs to be focused on economic populism. And after hearing J.D. Vance's speak at Turning Point USA, I think he gets it. But I also think what you're seeing now is an establishment Republican Party that's trying to reassert itself right now when Donald Trump is, quite frankly, at the weakest of his term. His approval was -8 net approval yesterday, the lowest of this term. Not horrible, but that's when this whole thing is bubbling up, where you have these people trying to gatekeep what the true conservative movement and Republican parties stand for. And we all know that there's still a very big donor class that's coming from big business Republicanism that doesn't want to see things like less legal immigration. It doesn't want to see massive deportations. It actually wants amnesty. And so unless the Republican Party can figure out a way to separate itself from that and give a plausible, pragmatic response to Generation Z about what the future looks like with the Republican Party, I think you're going to continue to see what I think we're going to see in New Jersey, which is Jack Ciattarelli loses because he's been down in every single poll, and Donald Trump did better than people thought he would in New Jersey, but it's a blue state. And Republicans don't have an answer for these people in a blue state. They kind of like their blue state socialism, to be honest with you. And Republicans, I don't think, have a plan for that. Now, if Gen Z, if actually under 40s weren't voting in New Jersey, Jack Ciattarelli would win, believe it or not. And so they can't, this is the future. These people are going to age into leadership, the millennials and Gen Z. You look at things like Israel, and the age signal is absolutely stunning. Yes, only 21% of 18 to 29 support Israel over Palestine, but it's 59% of 65 and older. And that's what the Republican Party is blowing up over right now. So on every single one of these issues, you look at the housing market, even Gen Z and boomers are on the exact opposite of that. And I think Republicans have no answer. What are you going to do? Housing prices is a crisis for them. So they're not relevant. They're proving themselves not relevant. And quite frankly, the government shut down. And in my opinion, they're MIA. And it was cute to see them try and blame it on Democrats and the illegal alien stuff. But it's the Republican Congress, and the ratings of Congress right now are absolutely horrifying. Only 3% of independents say Congress is doing excellent. 65% of them say poor. And they need the independent vote. Like Donald Trump won because of independents and crossover Democrats. And the Republican Party like pretends those people didn't exist. They pat themselves on the back for a good job in November. Nope, sorry guys, the bill's coming due. Donald Trump is only got a 35% approval rating with 18 to 29s. He was in the mid 50s back in February, and independents went from -6 on Trump approval down to -27 yesterday. That's what's happening. Wow. Too much focus on domestic policy and not enough, quite frankly, sweat in Congress. What have they done? And now Donald Trump is calling for the nuclear option. I've been calling for that for a year. Like, pass good laws, one-page bills, give us voter ID, give us, all of Trump's executive orders, and they're not doing any of it.
Yeah, and those judicial nominees, it would be very, very easy. And I agree. The Zoomer generation, I think they did vote more to burn the system down than they did for anything else. Mark, you're always so wise on all of this stuff. Mark Mitchell, head pollster over at Rasmussen Reports. Thanks so much for being with us on this special election night.
Great to be here. Thanks.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, one more break to get to, and then we've got a few things to wrap up before we head out.
Hey, America, as an investigative journalist, I've built my career on facts, and I always do my homework before recommending anything to my audience. That's why I can confidently say AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the real deal. AMAC is a conservative alternative to AARP. They're fighting for faith, family, and freedom in bringing their members real value, discounts on travel, insurance, and retail, helpful resources that help you thrive in the excellent AMAC magazine, packed with information that actually matters to patriots like you and me. Now, right now, when you choose a 5-year membership, you'll save up to 33%. That's just $1.20 a month to join a movement working to hold Washington accountable and preserve the values that we all care about. I vetted them. I trust them. You should too. Visit amac.us/justnews and become a member today, just like me. That's amac.us/justnews. AMAC, protecting America's future, one member at a time.